So, hello, happy freezing day. Now, I'm so glad you're not in Victoria right now. It is so cold. It is absolutely freezing. But let's get away from the weather and say thank you very much for you two turning up. It's from the greatness of my heart that there are two people live here, and for everybody watching at home, thank you for those that put on the apologies. And hopefully people will pick up the recording and watch this and find some use in it. Remember that anything that we're turning up here to do is always for the good of you and the growth of your business and the growth of your dreams, really. So hopefully you get something out of it. So tonight it's just a really, really quick touch base on week 1 of our 90-day action plan, and really want to just come into touching on our master list, and also, of course, touching into some of the activities that we've been doing this week. So Deb and I were just chatting quickly before we press record about the master list. And Deb, do you want to explain what you've been doing with your list, how you've been coming up with the names, and then what you've been doing after you've made contact?
Yep. So I've got my hardcover master list book, and just as I'm thinking of people, just adding them into the book, then you think of their husband and maybe their sister or cousin that you know as well. So it's just building, and then if I've made contact with them, I'm actually keeping details in the card file, so I know what we've talked about, or just the last date, and then I'm going to move the card maybe a week or two after the contact, and then contact again.
So have you because this is my one, so I just wanted to show people exactly what we're talking about. So we've got a hardcover book basically, so that means that it's always going to be quite protected. So because this book really needs to go with us everywhere, and as we speak to somebody, or as let's say we're daydreaming, really, that's when I find that the names really pop in, that we actually start to write them down, and then we get jogged on other names and we write them down too. So is yours a hardcover one? Show me yours.
Yeah. Hardcover.
Beautiful. Yeah, awesome. Okay, and Mel, is yours a hardcover book? Excellent, cool. And so I really like the idea, Deb, of when you make contact with that person, that then you move it forward. So you always have something jogging your memory to just be making sure that you have touch points. So I will do something similar, probably not as quite as organised as that, because I may just in the pockets of my time actually turn to one page of my book and then go through and kind of so talking about, let's say, through social media. So I would kiss, hug and pash, as Alan talked it. So it's like liking and commenting, and I may even also, so the pash is sending a private message and actually asking how they're going. So it's like actually not even the like, because the like thumbs up kind of gets used all the time. So try to do something that's different, remember? So it's the love, or the wow, or the ha-ha. And so it's doing something that's different. So doing those on a couple of posts, and then of course also commenting, but adding comments of kind of value, like, kids look beautiful, holiday looked amazing, you're looking great. So it's really making a solid value adding comment. And then of course also moving into private message. That's a really great way to actually start up a connection. And remember that when we go into connection with somebody, we go in with friendship first. Please make sure that you really detach yourself from the outcome of Isagenix. Yes, we've got these guys on our master list, and we hope that one day that them joining our business and us impacting their life, impacting and serving their life, is how it will come to fruition. But really, we come in friendship first. Does that make sense? Okay, please always come into the intention of friendship. Okay. I should show you a text, all a message I got last night from some random stranger who was trying to prospect me into another network marketing company, and it was just all like, bang. I'm like, wow, this dude doesn't even know anything about me, and he's just like, like positioning me on his network marketing, like, or his opportunity. I'm like, you don't even know me, mate. So, you know, please don't do that. If you're brand new to the business, make sure that we are connecting from a friendship first. Like, I go back over my very first original messages and I'm like, oh my God, what did I do?
Yeah.
So this is actually learning from those, you know, those mistakes. So yeah. All right. And yeah, sorry, Mel, I'm going to come into you in a second, and hey, Dan, but I'm actually finding this. Hey, mate, I'm actually finding this, creating this master list, so incredibly valuable. I am actually up to 500 names, and the majority of the names on this list are actually people we have not even spoken to in a long time, nor have we ever brought up the issue, like the, you know, the word Isagenix to these people before. So here I was thinking that we were at the end of our warm market, and I've really only started kind of working on this like late last week, have got 500 names on a master list. I think that it's absolutely incredible. And, you know, Deb, you would have heard Alan say, it'll be quite funny to you once you actually start creating this master list, how many people will just start talking to you about Isagenix and how many people come through. And in the last week, since we've started to write these names down, people have actually been bringing up Isagenix in conversation with us, whose names we have actually put on this list. So yeah, it's the magical universal intention, which I'm finding rather incredible. So yeah. So Mel, how are you going with your master list, my love?
Mine's still empty, and it's all in my head at the moment. Just before I wanted to, like, before I actually start writing names down, do you start with people that are actually, like, you're already in contact with, so that they're on that list? Or I sort of got stuck on where to start. That's
okay. So yes, you can, because I had lots of little list piles around everywhere. I had like kind of like a binder book that was breaking apart. So I went through that, and I kind of, you know, I guess categorize them as in, like, you know, put them in here again. But really, this is the way that I found that it happened, was that I went into a space where I don't normally work. I went actually to a cafe, and I sat down with my book, and I did have Facebook open, but I sat down there and I saw one person's name come up that I went to school with, that I hadn't spoken to for ages, and I wrote that person down. And then as I wrote her name down, I remembered who she used to hang around with at school, and then I hadn't spoken to that person, and that he was actually married, and I put her name down. And then, does that make sense? And they actually all just started to flow. So get one name, that will flow into a second, that will flow off the side, that will flow off down, you know. So does that make sense? They're all, there's like this 6 degrees of separation to every person's name that you put on there. And so, of course, I started off with like a school list, and I kind of, once I felt like I got to the end of like a school list, I went to started to think about people who I had worked with in the past in banking. And then same thing, I started writing them down, and then I'm like, oh, I hadn't thought of that person forever. Oh, okay, amazing. Oh, and I tested the theory of the love, comment, message, and I was able to set up a meeting, which I unfortunately had to cancel because we had some other stuff on. But then one of these ladies that I did the same thing, which was, you know, love, comment, message, actually messaged on that 9-day cleanse post today. They're in the States at the moment. Like, oh, I think I need this when I get back. No worries. So the formula actually works. It's really great. So write the name down, and then you get into the like is Pash. like hug Pash. But once you actually start writing the names, it's incredible, because then I went from work, then I went to all my neighbours. I'm like, oh, I've actually had a few neighbours, right? You know, and then I kind of went to the list I already had and started cleaning that up, and then to people that I'd worked with in the gym, and then kind of back to the list. Yeah, and I just, mate, you've just got to. I find that it actually works best when you are in a very quiet spot where you're going to be non-interrupted, and you just have to let your pen go to work.
Yeah.
Okay. It really is magic. 3.5 years in, and I had all these scattered lists everywhere. But this is actually brilliant, because then, as you say, okay, well, then I really need to start to make intentional contact with people, which does mean that you're wanting to create conversation. So then you've actually got to, like, well, okay, and we know that we can't still be sitting behind our computer. The point of this is to be bringing up conversation, and people are around us, getting in front of them. Now, Mel, I know that may be a little difficult for you because you're in the Northern Territory and most of your base will be back here in Victoria, but that doesn't stop you from having a live Facebook chat. Okay?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So you still want to get your energy flow, but you'll just be doing it through this type of medium. All right?
Yeah.
But I encourage you just have to start.
Yeah.
Right,
that usually helps.
Yes, it does. Okay. So I'm going to hold you accountable. Remember that we know what the dreams are here. You know that the dreams are the 540, but the 540 is not going to happen without the list done. So it's Tuesday today. I mean, it's once you start writing them, you'll find how simple it is. That, you know, by Friday you should have them at least a minimum, be able to do 50 a day. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 150 on that list, mate. There's actually, so if you're using that little Isagenix book, that one like that. So without the top line, which was like my title line, there's 50 names to a page.
Okay.
3 pages. 1 page a day.
Pages. Yeah.
Okay.
Too easy.
Good. All right, Dan, how you doing, mate?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Hello.
Yep.
Yes. Actually, I'll put my ears back in.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I haven't really sat down and done anything. But the other night, just when we're on a call, I'm just having a look now. Like we were on. Oh, actually, yeah, it was on the call. Was it Sunday night? We were on a chat.
Yep. On.
And then and then so just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I did about 15 people then just locally that sort of come to mind.
Okay.
So, but if I sat down, I'd smash it like feeding them.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got. Yeah.
So exactly like Mel, you actually need to put yourself in a quiet space, and I say just start with 20 minutes. Like put yourself somewhere really quiet. When you're in between lessons, park your car somewhere and get out your book. So I want you to have a hardcover book like this so it can travel with you everywhere and it's not going to get wrecked. And then all we have in terms of the columns is you just have name, contact, page, which means that, you know, our conversation has gotten to a point where you you put them on the page, and then you have the join button, of course, where the conversation has worked its way through connection and friendship. So of course them joining Isagenix, and you just need to start. So the way that it flows, if you heard what I was chatting to about Mel and Deb, it's like you just need to start with you need to be quiet, and so those 15 people that you've put there, just have a think to who the people are that you know through those 15 people. All right. So say one's a guy and he's married, and you know his wife, so her name should go on there too. And then you actually know their parents, and so their parents' name should go on as well. So let's say if you add on another 3 people to the 15, then 15 times 3 is 30. What's that? 45. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So and that's the way that it flows. But it is difficult to do this when you're in a busy state or you've got a lot of noise going around you, because you'll get distracted, and it needs to actually be the one thing that you're focused on, because you need to allow all those sideline thoughts and stuff to happen. So it needs to be, okay, hang on, So I know Dan, and Dan's married to Jody, and Jody's sister's Amanda, and then Amanda's partner, whatever his name is, do you know what I mean? And then it goes, okay. And actually, Dan, I know Dan through basketball, and Dan knows Lisa, and Lisa does that. So it all flows that way. Every single one of those names needs to go on your list. Okay?
Cool.
And then the next point of call is we need to work on how are we coming back into connection and back into conversation, friendship based with these people. Like you would have heard Alan talk about this at the Super Sat Day, that we come into the friendship based connection. Let's say that person then starts to talk about that they're so busy, like the lady I reconnected with today. I'm working 2 jobs. I've got 3 kids under 11, and one who's only in childcare or in kinder, like part-time. It's like, so I've had that discussion with her, and I've picked up that way back up that friendship thing. Then I leave it for 24 hours, and then I come back to her and I say, hey, Nat, you know how we were chatting yesterday and you were saying how busy you are? Would you ever look at doing, what I do? You could, and it may not be for you, but I'd love for you to look at it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Come into friendship, find out how busy they are or what's going on in their life, leave it for 24 hours, and then come back into the, hey, I've been thinking about you and how busy you are. I don't know if it's for you or not, but it could be. Would you like to look at it? Right?
Yeah.
Easy. But
cool.
it just can't happen without it written down. And this is because what I'm finding is that in the pockets of my time and in my kind of, let's say, overwhelm, who am I going to talk to? I've got no one to talk to today. I can pick up my book and I can work on 1 page at a time. And I've got 50 names per page. And I can go, actually, you know what? I've never spoken to that person about Isagenix before, and I didn't even know what they're up to in their life. And I'm not going to talk to them about Isagenix. I'm just going to go and see what they're doing in their life. And I'm going to love, comment, PM.
Yeah.
All right. Then with the outcome, hopefully with the outcome of like, hey, you know what? I'm not doing anything tomorrow. Do you want to catch up for a cuppa? It's been forever. So trying to get in that face-to-face space. And we know that if like the lady I'm talking to lives in New South Wales, if demographics, if geography is in the way, then we know that we can also have a face-to-face, virtual World Wide Web chat too.
Yeah. Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Got to get it done. So you have an enormous network, enormous network, but you got to get it out of the cloud.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
So same as Mel, I'm going to just hold you to some accountability. I'm going to give you a task, and we are going to be at SKO, but it will still be simple for you to be able to put 50 names on a page a day. I truly know that. Okay. Because once they start coming, you're like, where the hell did they all come from? Right, Deb? Is that right? They just come. So 1 page. So, you could even start it tonight, Mel. I know she's cooking tea, or you could start it tonight, Dan. 50 on tonight, 50 tomorrow, 50 Thursday, 50 Friday. That would be 200 names on your list. That's a pretty damn perfect start. And why is it important for you to know how to do this?
So we can teach others.
Absolutely. Once you know how to do this, you can, all these, these black books that we get every time we go to an event. This is the black book that you give to your new person, and you say, we're going to build your business together, and this is how we're going to do it. Right now, I just want you to think about the top 10 people that you would invite to your wedding, and who are they married to, and who are their friends, and who are their parents. And then before you know it, you've got your first contacts, right? And it's very hard to think of the first people that you're going to actually contact about this. But if you get somebody to think of their top 10 on their wedding list, likelihood is that they're going to be their top 10 best friends, right? And they're going to be people who aren't going to mock them or block them or delete them. They are more likely going to be people that are going to support them in everything that they do in their life. So we're going to say, let's contact them together. You're going to be so excited, and you're going to say something like, oh my God, I've just started this thing and I'm feeling absolutely incredible. And I thought of you because I love you so much. We've been friends forever and you should do this with me. It could be for you. It might not be, but I'd love you to look at it. Would it be okay? To come across that energy. But how easy is that? Because the reason that people don't contact people is because they think it's difficult. And they also think they don't know people, which we know is incorrect. All right? So every time you get one of these black books that comes in a bag or whenever you're at an event, you're going to get these books, okay? Stock them. I always wondered why I got them and I had a pack of them and I never knew what to do with them. Now I know what to do with them. I would suggest that as you grow bigger and bolder and more amazing in your business, and each one of you will, that this book also goes along gifted with a copy of GoPro. And that's your success. This is your success Bible. GoPro and your master list. Cool?
Yeah, cool.
Don't know why I never listened to Eric Worre about that before, because he's been making master lists for 35 years. And he says that in GoPro, doesn't he?
He does.
He interviews all those amazing network marketers. And who was the man he talks about? I don't know, but he says he's got a master list and it's got like 1 billion people on it, right? And every day he just adds more names and he never lets anyone off that list. Okay, cool. All right, so how's the sheet looking? How, you know, in the 90-day action plan on page whatever, it's got like this pull out. It's got like this thing that we're supposed to separate, and then I'm guessing that we're supposed to actually photocopy, because we need to have, how many weeks are there in 90 days? 12?
A lot. Yeah.
12. All right. So you need to have 12 copies of this sheet, okay? Because this is your weekly tracker, and you need to make sure. Do you all know what I'm talking about, or am I talking about like la?
Yeah, is that where you block? Put in like where your block of work, and then where, you know, when you might exercise and what? Is that one?
No.
No. Okay.
Can you see that?
Hang on, I've got to get my book.
Oh.
Did you get yours yet, Mel? Awesome. Good girl. So open that page.
Still there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just dropped my phone. That's all right. I'm back.
All right. So Deb's coming. Deb's finding her book.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to find this page, which is up the back under the action tab, of course. And then you'll find it, and it says weekly action plan scoreboard. Got it?
Yep.
Okay. So you need to, I mean, I've put this one as my blank copy, so I can always photocopy it. And then, of course, I've got the one that I write on. But when we go to do things, what do we always have to do? Like when we actually want to, when we want to get somewhere, what do we have to do?
Put it on paper.
Put it on paper. We have to plug in the GPS coordinates. So the GPS coordinates for this week are your weekly goals. Yeah? So otherwise you are flying blind, okay? And this is systemized. You have to put the numbers on your sheet, and then you have to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, or whatever days you are actually choosing to work this, because still remember that this has to be life, okay? So you're either going to choose to take actions on 7 days of the week or 5 days or 3 days. However many days you're choosing to take action is how quickly you're going to get to your dream, all right? But you've got to put the numbers down. So whatever your numbers are your numbers. They are not mine. Remember that I do this on a, you know, full-time, part-time basis. So, you know, I say this week I'm going to register two new people into IsaBody. Okay, working on that hard. I've got one girl doing hers tonight. I'm going to make initial contacts with 5 people. So that means that I'm actually only going to make initial contact with 1 brand new person per week. I'm going to have 2 presentations or
per week or per day.
So this is weekly. So this part here.
Right.
So if you've got your book there, Dan, you'll see that you have.
Yep, I have.
Oh, yep. All right.
Yep.
So I'm going to have two appointments or presentations per week. I've already had one, and I've got one tomorrow. So yay, I've got my goals. You know, how many 3-way chats, how many referrals. So you've got to put in your numbers that you know that you can do, okay, for your hours, for around your life, building your dreams. They are your numbers to be compared with nobody. Please do not get into the space of comparison, because you are not me and I am not you. You're not my dreams, or you are my dreams, I should say, but my dreams aren't yours, okay? Your dreams are mine, but you get that, what I mean, right? Does that make sense? Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then what am I focusing on? So I'm focusing on 2 brand new members and 2 brand new consultants, okay? Then what am I grateful for? Well, we're blessed and grateful to be earning $6,000 per week, because I'm living into it, okay? So I would like to see the task. So the task this week is all you need to do for Mel and Dan and anybody else playing along at home who have not started the master list. You by Friday, so I'm making it very accountable. But so by Friday, you have to have a minimum 150 names on your master list. A minimum 150 names. And then for everybody else who is doing the 90-day action plan, I would like for you to take a photo of your weekly action scoreboard, and then you can put that into the chat, okay? Because remember that this is not only for me to keep you accountable, this is for your team to keep you accountable to your dreams, okay? Same with me. You need to keep me accountable, okay? All right. So that's pretty much what we're doing. You also the reason we're not going to be going into too much depth in this call, and it's really just going to be about accountability and checking in. And then maybe there will be some, like, let's say there'll be some like spunk at the start, but then there's going to be some accountability, is because really what you need to be doing is you need to be listening to ISA Warriors. You don't need to be listening to me all the time. You will get so much gold out of making sure that your priorities in terms of team training are coming from Brett and Sammy on a Sunday, and that you are listening to ISA Warriors at your very first opportunity after it's posted in that group on a Tuesday about lunchtime, okay? And that may mean that you don't get to it by like this time Tuesday night, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere before the next one goes up on next Tuesday, you need to listen to that. So today it was Eric Coover and some girl, I can't remember her name, and I was actually only listening to bits and pieces because I was very preoccupied with some other stuff. But what I heard was gold. What I heard got me very, very excited about the future of ISA Dynamics. All right, so you've got to go in and watch that. And may I add that I shouldn't be your parent in having to go and find the link and then put it into the chat. Okay? If you want to, if we need to kind of, I don't know, do you feel that I need to do that every week? No. Because you also need to take some self-responsibility in terms of knowing where those things are. So, you know, I will always copy and paste and drag in the, when I can, because I kind of missed that one this morning because I was preoccupied, but where I can, I will copy and paste, and I will drag the Zoom invite for Brett and Sammy into the Dream Builders chat. And I will copy and paste and drag the invite for ISA Warriors into that chat. But not all of us are actually available to watch that live as it's happening at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. and you the Zoom always actually blocks out because too many people get on the Zoom. So it's kind of pointless doing the Zoom call at 11 at a Tuesday because most of us aren't there and we would get locked out anyway. So what you need to do is if you are available at 11 on a Tuesday for the ISA Warriors call, you just watch it live through the Facebook page. Does that make sense? And if you're not able to do that, though, you've got to go back in at your very first opportunity on a Tuesday and watch the live recording. So I would encourage you to actually be setting yourselves a reminder, okay? Tuesday afternoon, whatever time you're chilling out on a Tuesday afternoon when your kids get home from school and they're doing their thing, 3:30, 4 o'clock, you are scheduling in to watch the Zoom recording on the ISA Warriors, okay?
Yep.
Make sense? Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Now, thank you very much. I'm just going to turn off the recording and then we can chit chat. All right.